Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. And I want to say Shalom to Yachmin Akwath out there, pursuing this truth diligently. Coming at you once again with another lesson. This one's titled, After All This Time, That's the Best You Got? All right? After all this time, man, that's the best you got. And of course, I'll go ahead and show you what we're talking about. I reload here. So this is not the original way I saw it, but this is the article that I want to grab. All right, if I can get this little pop-up to go away, that'd be super great. All right, it says, deadly Maui wildfire was sparked by downed power lines, investigation finds. The fire that killed more than 100 people last year and destroyed the town of Lahaina ignited accidentally. Maui Fire Department and federal ATF found. Now, we know damn well that's a bunch of bullshit. All right, we can go and look it up again, too, and show you that the article I originally saw was this one right here by NPR. It says, a downed power line is officially blamed for last year's Maui wildfire. It says a new joint federal-state report on the origin of last year's wildfire that killed at least 102 people in Maui determined that power lines downed by high winds ignited a brush fire that ended up destroying the town of Lahaina. Right? So, it says the ATF report classifies the fire as accidental. Look at that. Even they have it in parentheses, like seemingly doubtfully, right? Like doubting, like accidental, quote unquote, right? It's not accidental. It says the joint investigation doesn't hold any individual or organization responsible for the fire that caused an estimated $5 billion in damage, left thousands homeless. I wonder if they have a Reddit post on this, because I want to hear what the people think, right? Let's see. Let's go and see. I want to see if people call it out. Now, this is the Hawaii Reddit. Let's see. Finally, here is the summary. I'm so sick of those social media conspiracy theories. They're starting up again after the Diddy arrest. Well, it's true, man. It's true. If you don't believe it, you don't believe it. I want us to go see if anybody else got it. Let's see. Anybody with any amount of cerebral thought here? Let's see. See, people are easy to believe whatever the masses put out. You know, whatever they happen to say, they'll just go ahead and believe it generally. Let's see. Guess no one's really talking about it, which is interesting. It's quite interesting. I'm gonna grab some scriptures in just a minute, but I'm really just these are all from a year ago. Power lines likely caused it, and that's interesting. That's interesting that no one's really talking about it, because we already did our research back in the day, man. We already figured it out. We already came to the conclusion that they're using DEWs. And actually, as a matter of fact, if you go and look up everybody who's talking about it, they'll probably have some, they'll probably say, oh, baseless claims. Let's go and look it up. Right here, back in 2023, it says, fact check, Maui fires caused by directed energy weapons. It says, right back here, it says, Hawaii wildfires, directed energy weapon, and other false claims go viral. Now, the thing is that these people are quick to believe anything that anybody tells them. Okay, and Esau's a liar, okay, so of course they're going to lie. But the thing you need to know is that this land was trying to be bought out by BlackRock, okay? For a long time, this land was trying to be bought out by BlackRock, and they didn't want to sell, okay? And it says how rumors and conspiracy theories got in the way of Maui's fire recovery. Now, you're probably not going to be able to find it anymore, but it was, they basically had all these different things about, back then about, that BlackRock was been trying to contact these people, and people were saying it. And then Let's see what this is. I'm curious. What is this? Oh, I see what they're doing here.
It's stunning to monitor the media's lack of interest in the whole Maui story. I've been in this business for 30 years. I'm stunned, but I'm not surprised. The incident seems to be the story here, right? But the true story, the media knows it is not allowed to tell. Is it a coincidence that the Maui police chief is the same man who was in charge in Las Vegas during that massacre that killed 58 people? Is it a coincidence that the Maui property, owned by million and billionaires, wasn't touched by the flames while homes of the locals all burned?
What she fails to also mention is how the media hasn't even once interviewed a grieving parent. Not a single parent looking for their children. Not a single interview with a child. Not a single interview with the schools.
Was it a coincidence that the largest system of outdoor emergency sirens in the world never made a sound as the fire devoured Lahaina?
As well
was
as
it a
the
coincidence
fountains.
that at the same time, very same time, all the water was turned off?
Yep.
Was it a coincidence that police were ordered to block off streets and to funnel all the cars trying to escape? Think about this coincidence. That governor also signed an emergency proclamation on July 17th, 3 weeks before the fire, about housing of all things. Is it a coincidence that the government put up a black fence around Lahaina, or that the FAA grounded all drones from flying over the affected areas? Is it a coincidence that since at least 2011 there have been plans to make Maui the first smart city run by 100% renewable energy? And that it must be a coincidence then that the locals whose homes did not burn are now being evicted from their property. And of course, a total coincidence that all the fact checkers who are checking these facts, who say everything I just told you is just a coincidence, are also owned and run by BlackRock.
Call all you Halabash and Meow Shy that I found that video, because I couldn't have explained it better myself. Everything she said is absolutely true, man. And it said the cost of her life. Now, I don't know who this was, but let me go back to it, because who is this lady? Who is this lady? She might not have died, but, you know, I might thought that she might have. Newsmax. I don't know who she is necessarily. Let me see. I want to see who possibly she could be. I guess that could be her. I don't know. Newsmax. Anchor. Death. It's not her either. I don't know. But anyway, you see it, man, and everything can't be a coincidence. Okay? Not everything's a coincidence. All right? Some things you just got to realize that they add up, man. They add up. They weren't letting people to leave. They were telling the kids to go home. All right? Go home where they would be unattended. They knew their parents weren't there. All right? They knew they would be unattended. The apparently the sirens weren't working. On top of that, apparently none of the water was working. On top of that, there has been dealings with BlackRock. And then guess what? The other thing that she failed to mention, because this came out later, is that, and I watched a documentary about this, and this is true, is that now a lot of those people, they were trying to get those people to sell real low their property, the burnt property, and then a lot of them had been, they basically were forced into selling so they could get some type of money back. All right, so after all this time, E, that's the best that you've got. And then on top of it, you have the Las Vegas. Here it is, an event, the Las Vegas shooting. All right, an event with a bunch of what do they call it? Cloak and daggers going around. You know, they don't give a lot of information. A lot of different people that were there are telling different stories than what the media is giving. That same guy, chief of police, coincidentally was the same guy at the Maui fire? I mean, come on, man. That doesn't seem fucking weird and fishy to you? After all this time, that's the best that you've got. It was a down power. It was down power line. No, it wasn't. It was a DEW. It was a directed energy weapon attack, and we know for a fact that it was because all the information that was going on about it, it adds up perfectly. The exact type of things that a DEW can do is what happened. And then you're just going to expect us to believe that it was just a down power line. It was just one more coincidence, all right, in all the list of coincidences, right? The coincidence of the power being out, the coincidence of the siren not going off, the coincidence of the parents, the parents not being home and them sending the children home, the coincidence of them putting a big black fence around it, the coincidence of not everybody being allowed to even go in like that. You couldn't just walk in there and go and look around. The coincidence of having the same police chief on board, the coincidence of BlackRock trying to have bought these out and turn it into a smart city, the coincidence now of there being a downed power line. Are you fucking kidding me? After all this time, that's the best that you've got? That's it? It's embarrassing, man. Let's go and get Job 13 and 4. Alright? If you don't like me saying bad language, you can get the hell off my channel. Alright? Because this isn't a Christian channel. This is a Hebrew Israelite channel. Learn where you're at. Job 13 and verse 4, it says, "But ye are forgers of lies. You're all physicians of no value." And that's another big hint there. I don't think I can zoom. Another big hint, if you go and look up that word physician, is medical, right? It goes back to a doctor. Okay? All right, a healer, a physician, all right, to heal hurts, right? So they're not healers. So that's another thing, is don't trust them with all their so-called, you know what it is. I can't say it because they'll demonetize me for, you know what misinformation. But don't trust these people's physician stuff. And Flocky,
You're not alone.
I'm trying to make it where I could have a little bit of music in the background, but every 5 minutes they got to go and try to get their damn money. Give me an ad, all right? But Job 13 and 4, "But ye are forgers of lies, you're all physicians of no value." So, hey, they're useless, man. They're forgers of lies. And if you stand over a forge and forge something, hammering out metal, you're forging what? You're making. You're making. If you forged a sword, you did what? You made a sword, right? If you forged a doorknob or a screw, you made a doorknob or a screw, right? If you forged a hammer, you made a hammer. If you forged a lie, you made a lie. You came up with a lie, and then, what do you do with lies? You spread them, That's absolutely what happens. So let's go and get another scripture. And Salakia for the little the discombobulation, right? It's not as formulated as it usually is. I ended up having to get called into work way earlier than I was supposed to, so my lesson schedule was kind of way messed up today. I had to come up with a lesson way later than I could have. It was just, you know how it goes in Babylon. So, but and when I like to do it before work because I have more of my mind about me. Not being at work all day and come home all tired and stuff. So please forgive me, brothers and sisters, if it's not as put together as it usually is. All right, and my words are kind of all over the place. So let me go and get Luke 8 and 17, and I put an update on the community update, but yesterday's lesson is currently uploading right now. It should be, at least, Lord willing. I don't know if it's currently uploaded. If it is uploaded, let me go and check. It is, yeah, it uploaded just then. Not just then, but just a moment ago it uploaded. Called Global Catastrophe World War III. Right? I completely, spaced it, and forgot to upload it yesterday. Salakia for that. Forgive me, Baba Kusha. Yeah, I just completely spaced it. I don't even know what I was thinking. I guess I wasn't, and that's why I didn't upload it. So that's Luke 8 and 17 says, this is red letter, so this is Yahushua speaking, right? It says, "For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad." And you try to hide all this information, but it's coming abroad, man. You're a liar. You're a liar. You had all this time to come up with something good, and you came up with a power line? After all this time, man, that's the best that you had, was a power line. That just doesn't... Who do you expect? And you know what the damn shame is, that Reddit post proved it. That people believe it. People believe it, absolutely. Because people are dumb. People are stupid. They believed it. Okay, guess it's down power line. Moving on, Biden saying, if they mess around, we have, yada, 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 something about Nord Stream pipeline, we can basically take it down. And then, well, the Nord Stream pipeline blew up. Who was it? And everybody's, I don't know. Well, Biden just said he was going to take it down. I got to go and play that. I got to go and play it. Here you go. Check this out.
If Russia invades, that means tanks or troops crossing the border of Ukraine again. Then there will be no longer a Nord Stream 2. We will bring an end to it. We will bring an end to it. No longer a Nord Stream 2. We will bring an end to it. There will be no longer a Nord Stream 2. We will bring an end to it.
Let's go look at the comments. He's saying the U.S. will carry out a terrorist attack on the Nord Stream pipeline. It's clear as the sky. And after he did it, he said it was Putin. Putin replied the next day, "Why would I do it? I can just turn off the valve." There you go. Meanwhile, German journalist, it's a mystery. This is a confession to terrorism. For the first time in his career, was actually telling the truth. All right, all these people, you know, there's no question who sabotaged those pipelines. You know, it says all I can do is laugh at this point. This administration is determined to start World War III. Not this administration. World War III is determined to start. All right, by Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and it's gonna happen. It's prophecy. Okay, it's prophecy. You know, and it's just people can say comments like that, and no one will ever put it together. You know, people can say, you know, you can go out and say, "Oh, it was just a down power line." And people say, "Oh, it's a power line." You know, he can go and say that thing, and they'll be so, "Oh yeah, some other country blew it up," and people, "Oh, some other country blew up the Nord Stream pipeline." You know, Kill Gates can go out and say things like, "Oh, population control," and say that he's going to do it by, you know, little jabronis and immunizations, and people say, "No, he didn't say that." It's as plain as day what he's saying. It's as plain as day what he's saying, man. There's another advert. It's plain as day what he's saying. And no one ever goes and no one ever questions it. You know? These people are not they're not intellectuals, all right? You know, that's the apostles of Great Millstone always like to use that word. All right, and those are the brothers and elders and apostles that I like to learn from is from GMS. All right, that's who I get my information from. I don't go with any of these bug out camps, man. All right, I learn from them. I teach like them to the best of my ability, you know, and not that I'm affiliated with them because of course Apostle Har put out that ruling. All right, no more affiliate camps because, you know, like I said, I always say it, few bad apples ruin the whole bunch. But, you know, out of respect for those apostles, because that's who I learned from. All right, I'm not gonna, you know, call myself affiliated or anything with them, all right? But that's who I learned from. And if you want the true truth, that's who I recommend you learn from as well. So, and if I ever do say anything incorrect, I always make sure to try to correct it if it's brought to my attention or if I catch myself saying it. But I never do it intentionally. Sometimes I slip in tongue, but not in heart, right? As the scripture says, roughly paraphrasing, all right? So, all right, we got Psalms 58:3. That says the wicked, and if you were watching, well, of course you couldn't watch yesterday's lessons because it only just got uploaded today, but I believe it was yesterday's lesson, the lesson before I talked about, you know, the wicked are Esau, Edom, all right, the wicked, when it's mentioned the wicked, because you can have wicked Jakes and wicked other nations, but the wicked, the title of the wicked is referring to the Edomites, the so-called white man, right? So, Psalms 58:3 says, the wicked, right, are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They're like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear. And actually, as a matter of fact, you know, they, of course, you can't speak right as you're born, but as soon as you're able to formulate words, and even before that, these motherfuckers really start lying. There was a video I saw, it was like these little white kids would have, the parents would pretend to bump their heads. They wouldn't bump their heads. They just like walk by a wall and just bam, they'd hit the wall with their fist. And the baby would just start crying. Like, because they'd be like, "Oh, did you hurt your head?" And the baby would be like, "Wah!" And just fucking crying and shit. They're already lying. They're already lying. They can't even speak and they're already lying. Little devils, right? So, and that's what they do. And their favorite subject to lie on is about the Israelites and Jake. And they love to lie on Jake, too. That's the other thing they like to do. They like to lie on Jake and say Jake did things that they didn't do. He didn't. He really did it. He did do it. He really did it. I saw him. I didn't do that. Yes, you did. I saw you. No, you didn't. You weren't even here. I actually got lied on when I was very young. in school. All right, as a lot of us did. A lot of us were bullied or whatever, right? And in school, I had this. I had a multitude of bullies. Most of them were in when I was back and living in Utah, this all white place, right? And I look leprous as it is. Well, I am leprous. I look white as it is, right? And I was a little browner when I was a kid. For some reason, I lost a lot of skin tone as I got older. I'll still darken up in the sun, but for some reason, I was just naturally browner as a child. I don't know how that worked. But the other thing is that so yeah, I had a multitude of bullies at that school in Utah. But it was a Clearfield Elementary School, to be exact. Fuck that place, man. And for what was I gonna say? I don't even remember his name. I think it was like started with an R or something like that. This kid always had a problem with me. These kids had problems with me, right? I minded my own business, but they had a problem with me for whatever reason. And I remember at the time I was in counseling or whatever, therapy or counseling or whatever it was, because I had a lot of, still do, like certain learning issues with like math. I'm just really not good at math. Other issues they were trying to figure out, back when like ADD, they couldn't figure out why they couldn't get me to sit and pay attention. All right, why I was all over the damn place. You just can't pay attention, and that's when they were really finding out more about ADD, the Ritalin days, right? And they try to put all the kids on Ritalin, so they just shut up and just be, what do they call them? Zombies in their school, right, in their chairs and just sit and drool. And this kid, so I was, going to counseling and therapy and all that stuff for that. And I was in the counselor's little hut. They used to have these trailers, and you go out there, and that's where it would be. And I was out there with her, and I guess I got called in this principal's office, and they said, "Oh, so and so said that you called him a fat ass. You're walking through the hall, and you called him a fat ass." And I said, "No, I never did that." And this guy, his name was Mr. Allred. I shit ye not, brethren. He said, he said this, and his name was Mr. Allred. He was an Edomite too. Fucking hate that motherfucker. I want to own him in the kingdom for sure, if I have that opportunity, because boy, does he have some debt to pay. All right, I was always getting in trouble with him, and he would never believe me, but he'd always believed the other kids that bullied me. And the counselor said, "Well, no, he was all yeah, he said this, la 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 la. Oh, we're gonna suspend you, blah 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 blah, because you did this." And then the counselor, thankfully, she was there, and of course I wasn't in the truth back then, but retrospectively, call all Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, she was there. And she said, "No, that couldn't have been the case. No, there's no way, because he wasn't in the hallway at that time, because he was with me. He's with me. There's no way. There's no way that could have happened, because he's with me." And call all Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. That was a very decent woman. I don't know if she was an Edomite or whatnot. I don't know what she was, but hopefully, because of that, things went a little bit decent in whatever she did, right? I don't know if she was an Edomite or not. I don't think she was. She could have been something else, Italian, or she was dark complected, all right? I don't know if she, not necessarily with the skin, but dark hair, brown eyes. You never know. She could have been Spanish, Hopefully she was a Jake. And if that's the case, I hope she wakes up, and I hope she ends up making us part of the elect, because that was a very good thing, because she put her ass on the line by talking back to essentially her boss, for me. And, that was good, because she was, out of all the teachers, she was the only, well, she wasn't really a teacher, but she was the only one that stood up for me. And, man, you should have seen Mr. Allred, man. If I remember correctly, he got all mad and flustered and basically was like, get out of here, right? And guess what? Did that kid get in trouble? No, he didn't get in trouble at all. Not even so much as a single day of suspension. My ass would have got 3 days suspension. He lied about it, and he didn't get no days of suspension. And that's the type of things that you have happen, all right, as hopeful members of the elect, all right? So, and Lord willing, members of the elect, because that's the type of stuff that happens to the elect. We can't be for sure we're part of the elect, but we hope we're part of the elect. And, and these devils, they just lie. That's what they like to do. I couldn't have been, what, like 9, 10, maybe 11, 9, 10, or 11. All right, I don't remember. I think it was like 5th. It was either 5th or 6th grade. I don't remember which grade it was. It was either 5th or 6th. And, I hope everything went terrible for that guy in his life. Mr. Allred and that kid and all the other kids that, hounded me and the other children as well. Because they didn't just bully me. They just bullied me and another kid and quite other people. And, these kids were nobody that should have been in the line to bully anybody anyway, because these kids were fucking squares, man. They're looking back, I'm like, why the hell were they bullying me? But I kept to myself. I was kind of like geeky, nerdy. And another thing is, it was a very Mormon area. All right, and I wore like heavy metal shirts and stuff, and all this stuff. So it was like you got bullied if you wore stuff that was like non-Christian. It was a weird fucking phenomenon. But anyway, Nahum 3:1. We want to get to the scriptures because I'm over here just recollecting and bullshitting and telling stories. But that's the type of things I wanted to give you that testimony, because that's the type of stuff that Edomite kids do. They just lie on you. Never once all growing up do I think did a Jake kid ever lie on me. All right, let alone in school or out of school. I don't think I've ever had a Jake lie on me, not once. All the people I've had Edomites lie on me. I've had Edomites start issues on me. Not once has it ever been, at least, a Judite, all right, a Judah or a Southern Kingdom. I've had issues with Northern Kingdom my whole life, but that's just growing up in Arizona and areas like that. That's like I said, more likely I'm a Judite anyway. So you're gonna have that rivalry between tribes. There's just, for some reason, I don't know, man. And I get along okay with Issachar now. But Issachar is the one tribe that a lot of my issues I've had in my life with, just little kids in school starting issues with me, trying to fight with me or talking shit behind my back or yada, yada, yada. They'd sit at the table, big Issacharite table, all the so-called Mexicans, they sit there, they just mad dog you as you walked by. Like, what the hell, man? And the Jake table didn't really do that. They just kind of just mind their business and just stay to themselves. But the Issacharite, man, they were always looking for trouble or whatever. I don't know. But it's probably just that rivalry, man. I don't know what it was. Anyway, Nahum 3:1 reads, "Woe to the bloody city." All right, and that's speaking of Babylon, all right, so-called America. "Woe to the bloody city. It is all full of lies and robbery. The prey departeth not." We're the prey here, man. And our people do not want to depart. They want to stay here. They love it, even though they're constantly getting lied on, even though they're, the news is constantly lying, saying, no, that didn't happen, this happened. No, that didn't happen, this happened. They tell you that all these different events happened, and a lot of these are false flag events and events that never even occurred in the first place. And, a lot of these motherfuckers are so dumb, they're just gullible to believe it because they believe the government would never do them wrong. They never tell them wrong. And they'll just go and believe it, flat out without doing any research. And that's the thing. That's a big thing. Even in this truth, man, the Apostles and Elders of Great Millstone, again, who I'm not affiliated with, will tell you, do your research, man. Go and do research. Look some things up. But these people won't do it. And that's why they don't know definitions to things. They don't know events that happen. I mean, come on, man. The Maui thing, if you were just watching the news, you should have known that something stunk, okay? You should have known that something stunk. Hell, even back before I was in this truth, and I'm not boasting. I'm just saying that, the whole Vegas, when the Vegas shooting happened, there's a lot of information that was going, and I was always a self-proclaimed conspiracy theorist even before the truth, because there was just a lot of things. I never fucking trusted the government, man. Never trusted the government, The government's not here to help you. My dad, he always used to tell me that growing up. The government's not here to help you. They're corrupt. Politicians are corrupt, right? And my dad was always a conspiracy theorist himself, right? Looking into things and trying to find out truths about things, all right? And he was always into that alien stuff and the UFOs. He didn't, he little green men, all right? He didn't realize it was, alien angels and stuff and the Lord and his chariots. And I've told him since, I believe. And I've told him about the truth and everything. And it's just, he doesn't get it, which is a shame because the real truth, all right, that they're trying to hide, the ultimate conspiracy theory, right? The ultimate truth that they're trying to hide, he can't get, unfortunately. And that's just because, the Most High's locked it to him. But, it's just one of those things. So I grew up, with that conspiracy theory background. So I was always very skeptical and doubtful. And when that whole Vegas thing happened, I remember reading comments and people talking about, there was people in black suits, talking about, hanging around during, they weren't at the Mandalay Bay. Instead, they were at the parking garages, and there was, men in black suits. I heard that there was a lady apparently that night saying, you're all going to die tonight. I've heard other accounts since then now because I've dived into that and researched about it. People were saying that there was helicopters going around, and some people saying there was shooting from helicopters. I don't know. I've watched, countless videos of footage that people have taken. I've seen footage that was from the venue, and it just seems quite interesting. It's quite interesting, man. Really, do your own research about these things. Research, anytime there's an event like that, do your own research. Anytime, just go to Wikipedia and look at some of these events that happens, these killings or these cold cases, these different things, and just think about how strange it is. I have all these people that got caught for smaller things. These people do these bigger things, and they were never able to catch them. It's just interesting, disappearing people, all these disappearing people, from weird areas. They say they coincide with caves and these people where they found, people in national parks where there's nothing but just clothes. It makes you think all these missing children, right? It's just very interesting, And that's one of those things you should look at, and you should be because we're not about conspiracy theories, we're about conspiracy truths. Okay? But in order for you to find the truth, it has to be a theory first. Even before a scientific evidence is proof, what do? They do a thing called a come on, brain. Come on, man. It's on the tip of my tongue. Come on, man. It's called a what is a scientific term? Scientific term for an educated guess. What is it called? A hypothesis. That's what it is, a hypothesis. All right? Even before then, you have to come up with a hypothesis before it's a fact. It's a hypothesis. All right? And then the educated guess, you go and dig deep into it more, and they say, aha, it's not a hypothesis anymore. It was a hypothesis. I had this thought, and then I did some research. Now I have an educated basis upon it. Now on top of that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to prove it even more. Aha, it's not just a hypothesis. It's not just a theory. It's a fact. And that's what we do. We our goal is to ultimately, our ultimate goal is to really pull out the truth on these things. All right, and it's all for the glory of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay, all for the glory of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Not for anybody else. All right, but just to show you that these devils are lying, and they're liars, man. And after all this time, that's the best that they had. All right, that's a downed power line. How stupid. Anyway, that's the lesson, or else I'm just going to keep on rambling. So that's been the lesson. Lord willing, it was edifying. Once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, B'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, B'Hashem Rakakwadash. Shalom to you brothers and sisters out there. Keep enduring. Keep the faith. We're almost out of here. Until the next one, Lord willing. Shalom.